Post-it note engagement can only go so far. It doesn't scale that well to, like, say, 100, 200,000 people. But for this, we've discovered there's some really powerful new web technologies, like Remesh, which we're about to use, that can massively scale engagement. With Remesh, you can have a conversation with 200,000 people. The thing, importantly, that we found, though, is that to get citizens using them and engaged in these tools, it's really important that the citizens trust that their voice will be heard. So the Civic Lab is in part a space to build the trust from citizens to the council, so that the council can effectively use these kind of tools. Okay, so we're going to do this experiment now. If you can all go to this link here, and there's a survey to fill out. So if you fill out the survey, and we'll get set up at our end. So this is the most strongly favourable option here, to support the initiative and hear from the lovely... Oh, that's us. Yes. All right. All right. Where are we? Here we go. Next question.
Cool. So our top response is that citizens are keen to engage with council, they just don't know how. And I guess as a live lesson for us, it's quite interesting to see that although there are kind of spoof answers like came for the free lunch, meaningful answers do get pushed to the top for the sheer amount of people that choose that preference over other options, which means more people see that one that most people agree with. So yeah.
The other interesting thing is if you did actually come for the free lunch, you might have been persuaded that there is something more worthwhile here by seeing other people's ideas. This is taking a bit longer. I think we should only ask like maybe a couple more questions. Which of these questions do you think? What would you like to see this program do in the future? Thanks for that, everyone. So we'll take a pause from this questioning to just go into a breakdown of this data, these responses. So you can see that the top answer here is the horrendous wasting of resources, but you can see there are other things that had a similar level of both popularity and consensus. So if we scroll through a few of these. So these are all pretty popular. You can see from here, there's like a lot of things that are pretty popular. So here's another thing. We can do a breakdown by age. So we can see what 18 to 30-year-olds think. So interesting that, yeah, this is quite different from the other section. So this is lack of appropriate engagement and consultation. We could have a look at, say, what women think. And we could have a look at, so we could look at, should we look at local government? There's the silos. And should we take a peek at central government? Oh, there we go again. Shall we have a look at the technologists? So you can see that, yeah, and also they've got the number of votes here, so that, is it participants here, there's like a lot of votes, so people are like working through a lot of different options. And so the other thing it does is it brings these segmentations here. So this is done just by like groupings of, actually I don't think I fully understand this, but yeah. 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 I'll ask you after, Marty. Yeah, so let's jump back to a couple more questions.
Maybe we should wrap it up because we're getting closer to the end.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, damn, there's so many interesting questions here we wanted to ask you. Maybe we can do it another time. What's that? Okay, yeah, let's go for this. Actually, we can look after. I'm interested in if there are people from online coming in.
Great. Well, thanks for hearing about our project.
Yeah. Just a quick mention. I've participated in Remesh once, seen a static version, and this is my first time hosting it. So, yeah, it was pretty easy. We made a few mistakes. So, just quickly, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a demo experimentation. We're not proficient at hosting this, but this is something that you could send out a link to this on Facebook at like 6 o'clock in the evening, and that could be picked up by 100,000 people around Wellington in their houses, families, each person with their own device, in old people's homes, nurses, old people, giving their input and having a meaningful conversation with whichever business unit wants to talk about something interesting. Yeah.